Hello and welcome to the Empowered, Sensitive and Creative podcast. My name is Rim. I'm an artist, a certified life coach and an NLP practitioner, and the creator of the Empowered, Sensitive and Creative retreats. Passionate about celebrating joy and beauty in the everyday, especially when things are falling apart, I'm insatiably curious about human nature, and I look into the world with reverence, awe, and a sense of wonder. Tune in for stories exploring healing through creativity, art, embracing sensitivity, and navigating the subconscious mind. I'll talk about the struggles that highly sensitive and creative people face, and share my experiences, insights, and favorite tools along the way. I'm here to empower you to turn what we often deem to be a curse into your biggest gift. I believe that the more we create together, the more we heal the world. So let's dive in. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Empowered, Sensitive and Creative podcast. I'm so happy and grateful for you tuning in. You know, these days and even these weeks when things are not happening the way you expect, and actually it looks like everything is falling apart, nothing is working, and you're like, so frustrating. It's like a hair pulling moment, and it has been such a week for me since my last podcast episode. And I had planned something totally differently for this episode today, and I was kind of forced to see, no, I cannot do it. I have to adapt and remain in the flow of what's going on, and I want to be transparent and not pretending, because it's not that I used to pretend, but I used to think that saying that things are not working was way too vulnerable and would make it mean that I'm not professional enough. And actually being professional has been a big shadow of mine, like something that I felt very wary, like I was really worried people would think I'm not professional. And therefore, I really worked really hard to compensate and to be over professional, making lists, making plans, and saying okay, if I commit to something, I cannot budge. I my word is my word, and it's super important. And I still think when I give my word, it's important, but now I've learned to be more in the flow of my energy and first to give my word less easily than I used to, but also to still honor my word, but in a different way, trying to find a way that works for me and my energy at the moment, so that I don't take a part of myself in the process, because that's not sustainable at all. And actually, every time you kind of sacrifice a part of yourself, it's like a little bit of your soul or a little bit of your heart that is tearing apart. For those of you who have listened to my previous episodes, you know that I'm in France. I'm in France, but I'm back after living many years abroad. I lived in China and in the UK for altogether 14 years. And I came back to France 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And since then, I've had to do a lot of administrative paperwork. And it's been a nightmare, like a real nightmare. And I don't know, I remember France administration was quite complicated, but I didn't remember it was that difficult. And this time I'm this year, my voice. This year, it's I feel like everything has been full of obstacles, and I've had to jump through hoops after hoops after hoops. and nothing is working. I mean, from the administrative point of view, every time I send documents, I follow the procedures, I receive like either it's error message, either your folder, your file has been lost, or there's an issue, or we cannot find you, or there's a bug, or wait, or something missing, all of that. And I've been doing something important, like I've been doing some important papers since December, January, and it's been like there have been problems with that many times, but this time I thought it was good, and I've been waiting, like checking my mailbox and nothing, and finally I got the response today, and it was request denied, you have to start all over again. So instead of recording my podcast as I had planned today, I had to fix this issue because it's kind of a timely matter. I cannot postpone, I have to fix it as soon as possible. So I was all over the place, calling here, calling there, trying to find, like, please, can you make an exception? Can we find another way? All of that stuff. And the answer was always, no, that's the way it is, no. So this is one thing that I've been dealing with these days. Then there is also, I'm helping my mom to sell her most of her belongings. She's also in a transition time, and she's about to change her life and to travel abroad, and therefore she's trying to sell her and her parents, my grandparents' belongings and stuff. You know, it's like big decluttering of all our past, especially her past and her family stuff. And if you've been through these kind of things, it's quite long, it can be quite heavy. There's a lot of stuff to sort through, and it's also quite emotional to part, like actually to go back into the boxes and digging and find all these tokens of childhood, souvenirs from the past, stories coming back to memories. It's quite nice, quite sad sometimes, I did have some crying sessions for sure. But anyway, there's some stuff that we're trying to, like some nice stuff, but we're told that the times have changed and people don't really care about antique stuff anymore. So we kind of have to make peace with the idea that all of this antique stuff that we've been keeping for years, they're actually not worthless, but worth very little nowadays, because times have changed, people have different tastes, different habits. So anyway, that's okay. But it was a bit frustrating, and some other stuff, like some machines that are broken, I had to try to fix it. And so my week was like that, a lot of back and forth, digging through stuff, sorting, taking pictures, going to some markets, some antique markets, some flea markets, second-hand shops, trying to sell of all this stuff, also going to Goodwill and give them away, some away. All that to say, I feel like my mind has been all over the place, and it's been very difficult to focus. And at times I felt like things are not happening, it's so slow. I feel like every time I'm trying to move along on the path, on the road, there's an obstacle, there's a block, and it's like a no, and there's nothing I can do about it. I mean, there is something, but not in the way I think, because I cannot control these kind of events. I cannot control the French administration system. I cannot control the fact that people have changed their taste, and they are not interested in buying high quality handmade stuff from the 50s or from the 40s. It has changed, and I cannot get rid of all of that soon. I wanted to get it done. I shared in the previous podcast episode what to do in between time when you're in transition, and I have to keep reminding myself of that. There are some days when it's easier because maybe there are a few things that are working, or I can see some progress, or I don't have so many things on my mind, or so many things to take care of all over the place. So in those days, it's a little bit easier to find balance again and to enjoy the moment, as I explained in the previous episode. And there are some days like today where things feel really frustrating, and I even felt some anger, to be honest with you. I was like, oh, maybe I'm doomed. I know it's not true, but I still had this initial reaction. That's because it's a very old thought pattern that I took from my early childhood. So even though I know now, like I know not to believe it, it's yeah, I can accept, I understand that it comes to my mind like naturally. But it's just before I used to believe that. I used to believe, oh yeah, nothing is working, I'm doomed, it's because I do everything wrong. Whereas now I'm like, okay, that's my the protective part of my mind, the scared part of my mind, who's trying to protect me and to find, like, to grasp at the situation and try to find something that is certain. And certainty for that part of my brain is nothing is working because of you and you are doomed, and it's just that how it is, you should better accept it. Like this, it's something that is sure for my subconscious. Now I know. So what I did this time is I was like, okay, it's normal, it's understandable, you're a little bit angry, you're a bit frustrated because you feel powerless. I felt really powerless because there's nothing I can do. And administrative stuff, it's like sometimes the rules are silly. I understand we need to have rules in our countries for sure, but sometimes it doesn't make sense. It's just like, come on, we cannot fit all in the same box, and there are some exceptions, and that, and it feels so annoying, really. And I felt powerless, like, oh, I have to wait and wait and wait, and being told no and being told no. So I thought, how can I take my power back up? How can I shift this energy so that I don't feel like totally helpless, totally angry, so that my day is not ruined by those external circumstances? I don't want my day or my energy or my creativity to be ruined by these people or by the rules, by the rules of my country. No, that would be too unfair, because it would be like double punishment. So, because also I knew, like, I could see the time, it's 5 o'clock, 6 p.m. Wednesday. I have to record my podcast. I've been thinking about what I want to talk about today. I started to write my ideas in the past few days, but it's still a lot to talk about, and I wasn't really like, I didn't feel the inspiration anymore to talk about that. My energy was so much into that event, that today, this frustration. So I thought, okay, I still have a few hours, so I should better sit at my desk and write and finish to write my my ideas and make them clear and organize them. And that comes from this shadow of being professional, of doing things clearly, properly, prepare, plan. So it's all about appearing, really, or like making things complicated for myself, actually, just because I deep down there is a part of me that thinks I need to play the game. But what game is that? And then I thought, okay, what game is that? What is the game of the professional person? But I don't want my podcast about being the professional person. I want to be about the creative flow, creative energy, sensitivity, how to feel good, how to shift our energy. So it has actually nothing to do with being professional, appearing professional, nothing at all. So it was really interesting. I still have this thing coming up. And this is something I experienced time and time and time again in my professional life, in my work life, where I feel like I always have to prove that I'm good enough. They always tell me I have to do more, I have to work harder, I have to work longer, I have to work faster. And that was exhausting, and it's kind of it's a trauma for me, and I'm working on it, and I've made a lot of progress. But still, sometimes I can see, this little a little dust, a little trauma dust coming back at me. And so this is a great opportunity to actually question it and choose differently and say no. I wanted this podcast to be like a friendly conversation, like imagine we at a cafe or in a garden and we're having a chat and with a cup of tea, and it's like we feel free to be ourselves, and it's an expansive energy, not a constricted energy, nothing about should, and not about proving oneself. It's not like for you, I hope that when you listen to the episodes, you don't feel like, oh my God, I have to prove myself, I have to do this, I should do that. No, it's like, no. How my intention is like to be frank and be honest and transparent, so that you can see that also for you in your life, in your situation, there are other solutions, other way to see things and to reframe, and how you can keep believing in your dreams and reconnect to them and live your life in your own terms, away from the rat race, the hamster wheel, burnout, overwhelm, all of those very toxic energies, like not helpful for your well-being. If it's not helpful for your well-being, it's not helpful for your community. If it's not helpful for your community, it's not helpful for the world. It's as simple as that, really. So once I realized that, okay, I have this kind of deep-seated fear of not being enough, or I have to prove something, I have to work hard, extra hard. I was almost ready to spend the whole evening doing the podcast, and then I thought, no, Reem, your intentions were during this time, you're busy with the move, you're busy with this, you cannot give priority to everything. You know the saying, if you give priority to everything, actually you don't prioritize anything. And well, that was, I could see, I'm getting overwhelmed already because I want to do things well, and I committed to this podcast. So doing the podcast is my priority. I want to be here. I enjoyed this time. I hope you enjoyed too. And I want to keep doing it and see where it leads me and see where it leads you. So I'm not giving that up. But at the same time, I really don't have space in my mind right now to focus on writing what I had planned to do. And I don't want to deliver something that with the energy is constricted, and at the same time I don't want to spend the whole night working on it, because that feels really punishing. I cannot work that hard anymore. I've done this when I was working in fashion, working so late, always redoing the work and doing more. And yeah, initially there was probably a rush of, I'm working hard, I'm doing something that's important, and that kind of belief and energy didn't last very long. After that I had so much resentment. And that leads me to another priority I have, is taking care of my health, taking care of my well-being, so that I can keep pouring my energy to what I love, to my projects. It's like, filling your cup before you give to others. I would not be able to show up with authenticity, actually. And I don't think I would be able to listen to my intuition if I was always doing things because I should, and working extra hard and punishing myself to work at night and after having had a very busy day. So then I thought, okay, my commitment to my podcast, commitment to my health and well-being. For me, health and well-being is spending time in nature, at least a little bit during the day, and moving my body, whether it's going to the lake, rowing the lake, going for a walk, or working out or dancing. And then eating healthy. In the past, I would have numbed if I had this kind of event where I'm so frustrating and I've been waiting for things and nothing is happening and it's being denied, I would have gone on a chocolate and bread rampage. But this time I was like, no, I'm gonna have a snack, but healthy snack with fruit and almonds and a bit of chocolate. Not too much. Not I'm gonna do it mindfully, sitting in the garden, not numbing mindlessly. So that's a tip. When nothing is working, I think it's important to stay mindful and take your time, because in those times you feel like you want to rush because you want to solve the problems and get things done and get the things moving, but actually doing the opposite, it's better. I know it's counterintuitive, but I like, have you noticed, does it work for you when you keep going, keep pushing? Yeah, there are some times, of course, like when it's just the moment where things have to be done now, like you're gonna miss your plane or something like that. Of course, you can keep pushing, but when you still have a few weeks ahead, for this long-term stuff, there are some days, like if you have done what you could during the day, it's better to slow down. And I had to learn this the hard way. And another things I wanted to prioritize in this time of transition is some time for creativity and drawing. I will I will participate to an art exhibition in 10 days. So I need to have enough energy to create some more drawing, some more art for that. So that's a priority. So once I have this clear, I was like, okay, so I'm gonna take a little break in the garden, have my healthy snack, and then I was gonna go back to work. But then I didn't feel the energy at all. I felt I'm in this very flustered energy. I feel very restless. I can't focus. I need some time off. I need to regulate my nervous system. So, and I really wanted to do some movement today. I didn't have time to go out and move and work out or anything. So I thought, okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go for a walk in nature. I'm not gonna do intense workout now. It's too much. I don't have that time or that energy. But I will still go and do a walk in nature, and then I will see after that. So that's what I did. I went out. It was nice. It's getting warm now over here, so I'm enjoying. And as soon as I stepped outside and walked in the fields, I felt much better. I saw some goats, some cats, and I just had like a download, like an intuitive download right away. And it was like, Reem, why are you obsessed with following this plan that you had put in place about the podcast topic? I don't have to do this podcast topic today. I can talk about it next week. I'm talking like I want to empower you to follow your flow and follow your intuition. And sometimes it's useful to follow the plan, sometimes it's not. Why choosing complicated and difficult when we can choose simple and ease and grace? And for me, it was like, okay, I could talk about this energy today, like about what to do, like how to handle the situation. And it's actually happening right now. So it's exactly what I have in my mind. And if I can make it mean something, if I can help you in this process, then I would be really happy, because it would mean that I was frustrated. It was really annoying, but I learned something from that, and I hope it can help you. So at the end, I'm kind of grateful for that experience today and for that frustration, because it reminded me my values. Because it's easy to live your values, to follow what feels good when things are okay, when things are not that challenging. But when things are falling apart, when everything seems to be wrong, it's like, then it's much harder to listen to yourself and take care of yourself. And I thought, you know what? Instead, I will talk about how to connect to your dreams and how to be mindful and how to take the time off, how to slow down when everything feels rushing. Slowing down is the answer. And as soon as I thought that, I could see, yeah, it's the right choice because I felt this kind of ease and expansion in my body. I felt quiet. I didn't feel angry anymore. I felt calm. I felt power, actually. I felt power rushing through me. You know, when you feel powerless, you have this kind of sting. For me, it feels very like I've been beaten, and that's also what gives me this restless energy because I feel like maybe I'm even suffocating because I've been punished and I don't have the power and I have to stay passive and wait, and it's horrible feeling and it gets difficult to breathe. But instead, when I feel like I'm in my power, I feel calm, serene, I have more energy. I feel like anything is possible. It's okay, it's gonna be fine. There will be solutions. That's okay. You know, like life can go on. It's not all about that problem. There are so many other things that are happening well in my life. So I manage to take my focus out of those tricky things, challenging things, and focus on the rest. And then I continued my walk, and it was really nice, and I could enjoy it. And then I saw a couple of butterflies. They were so cute, and they were like flying around me, and I felt so blessed and so thankful. And I was like, okay, I think that's a sign I'm in the right path right now. And I took a path that I didn't take in the past. And that's why I think it's important to remember like what you did is not necessarily gonna work again. You know, like if you tried some techniques or behaviors or thought patterns many times and it's actually you're still frustrated and you feel like it's repeating again and again, maybe try something else. It means you need to try the opposite. There is this woman whom I quite like what I quite like her work. She's called Lacey Phillips. She always say the medicine is the opposite. Like the medicine is the opposite of what you used to do, of your habits. When something is not working in your life, try the alternative, the opposite behavior or the opposite choice. What feels counterintuitive, basically. And after my walk, it was lovely. And after my walk, I thought, oh, you know, I want to treat this. I don't want to rush into the podcast and doing it because I have to do it and get rid of it, and you know, like doing half-heartedly and treating it like a work assignment given by a boss. No, I want to honor it and make it really special and give my good energy. And there's no need to rush. Rib, don't rush. I'm a Taurus, by the way. My sun sign is Taurus, so I do have the tendency to rush. So what I did instead this time is I took a nice long hot shower, and then I put some nice oil, massage myself with some nice oil, and I did some aromatherapy. I lit a candle, and then I diffused some lavender and ylang ylang. So now it smells really, really good in my room where I record the podcast. And then after that, I sat and I thought I want to share with you this hypnosis. It's a deep meditation or hypnosis about connecting to your dreams, because I think that when things are, to remind yourself that there is a way out there. Keep believing. Don't give up. Don't give up. All these annoying things are like tests or challenges. It's like when you're climbing on a mountain, you cannot reach the top right away. You have to maybe fall a few times or trip and hurt your hands. It's not easy, but once you're up, it's amazing. The view is, that's how I feel. And I sat down, relaxing with my cat nearby, and listened to that meditation. And yeah, and I had been thinking for a while how I want to share it with you, but I wasn't sure exactly how I would share it with you. And then I was like, yeah, why am I thinking even further? That's the day. That's the honor yourself. And another sign that I like signs, and I like oracle cards, especially those from Colette Baron Reid. And after my work, I picked up this card, and it's called When the Weavers Built the Sun. Essential meaning: the value of dreaming big, success at seemingly impossible tasks. Legend has it that when the dream weavers built the sun, they created a huge ball of fire so they could see all the miraculous things they wove into being. They needed light and more life force energy to flood our world so life could grow and flourish. Their big dream didn't exist before they imagined what it could be. They made it up as they went along, with no plans to follow, no certainty about how to do it. They claimed it energetically and followed the prompts of the conscious universe. Their partner. They made an impossible thing real. You have a big dream, but you don't have the how. Sometimes, you don't have the how yet. Sometimes you question whether it's even possible and wonder if it's not meant to happen at all. Looking at the chaos in the world, you wonder if it's selfish to feel that you deserve any of your desires. Do not give up on your dream. Something unique that will greater good wants you to call it to. You were given the idea, and it is your mission to forge a new path to bring it here. If you knew the how of it, it would mean that you're not dreaming big enough. Whatever you dream, we need you to begin now. It's time to act. Hold the vision of success, but not too tight, and lean into this greatness, your greatness. Just think of how many you will touch by this action. Trust that you were made for this. Step forward, one step at a time, and the universe will open the doors one by one. This made me smile, and I was like, yes, this is it, exactly. That's why I wanted to share the Connect to Your Dreams meditation, especially today, because it's easy to think that it's not for us when obstacles arise, when things don't work, seemingly don't work. There is chaos in the world, there is chaos in our lives at times, but there is also beauty, and there is more beauty to be created by you, by all of us. So I want to recap the process, the process I went through today, and may it inspire you to alleviate your troubles, my friends. The first part is feel your feelings. If you're feeling frustrated, angry, disappointed, sad, please take the time to see them, to see this feeling, to observe and to feel them. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to shout, if you can, if you're in a position, in a place where you can shout, do what you have to do, but feel your feelings. It's really important, because feelings are emotional waves. They would go after that, they would be less heavy. And then honor yourself, regulate your nervous system, take time out, take some time in nature if you can. If you cannot, well, maybe go for a little walk outside, move your body, dance, sing, something that feels good to you. There's something that you really love, not something that you should do. Like if you feel, I should go to the gym because I should work out, maybe don't do that. Do something fun instead. Still moving your body, but something fun. And then let go of the should, let go of the agenda. Try to see what else, what simple thing could you do instead? How can you make it more simple for you, what you had planned to do? Are there other solutions? Does it have to be that way, the way you were thinking? Is there any other option, something more graceful, more playful in a way, playful in the moment? What is the intention? What is the energy you want to give? And then I would say, do this meditation, connect to your dreams. It's actually, this meditation is really good because it also regulates the nervous system, because I incorporated some breath work into it. And breathe. If there is one thing you can do to feel better instantly, is breathe, work on your breathing. And this breathing is a pattern of 4-8-8. I was inspired by Niraj Naik, the founder of Soma Breath, which makes breath work and meditation and music. I was inspired in a little section of this meditation because I took some of his classes and I felt instant relief. I found it combines really well with hypnosis, and it helps to actually drop into a meditative space much faster than without doing it. The meditation, do it not when you're driving. If you can do it when you're in a quiet moment alone, listening to the music with the earbuds, because there are some binaural beats, and like making sure you're not gonna be. I'm putting the link down below in the show notes for where you can find this meditation. I hope you enjoy it. I trust you will enjoy it, and that will help you connect deeper to your dreams and to your magic, to the magic of your creativity. And with that, I wish you a beautiful end of week, or anytime you're listening to this podcast, and speak to you next week. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if it has inspired you, please share it around you. Also, if you feel called to it, please subscribe to the podcast and leave me a review. It really helps to spread the word out. All your questions are welcome. You can send them to me on Instagram at reem.creativenergy.com or email me via my website, reemcreativenergy.com. And don't worry, I'll share in the show notes exactly where to find me. Until next time, sending you loving creative energy.